How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Happy Friday. Hopefully you guys are ready for the 4th of July weekend. Today's word of the day is shock, and shock stands for a sudden, upsetting, or surprising event or experience. The last couple of years, we've seen a multitude of shocks from not only just pandemics, now we're seeing the shock of a lot of people actually going to lose part or all of their unemployment insurance benefits that they've received over the last year and a half. So, a lot of people are getting their I call a wake up call in regards to what is your plan B, C, D, and the whole alphabet. In my personal opinion, I always respect people that have multiple careers, multiple hustles, multiple businesses, whatever that not only adds value to the community and to the world, but actually adds value to their pockets at the same time. And that's the true financial security. I remember one of my older jobs I worked at, I forgot the gentleman's name, nice guy, but he stated, and this was back in 2005-6 time frame, because he was an IT professional working for a corporation, but he did a lot of freelance work. And he said a lot of times if people get laid off because he was a contractor for an IT organization, um, he would always say, well, at the end, I started my freelance company. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting more tax write-offs. He said, but I started my freelance company for one specific reason. I'm responsible for what happens to me, not the government, not corporate America. I'm responsible for what happens to me from a financial standpoint. I was like, you know what? I can't agree with that. I couldn't agree with that statement more. He's like, so it's up to me to ensure that I not only keep my skill sets up, but I have work available just in case. Like he was unemployed for a whole year back in 2007, but his because he developed so many clients doing freelance work that he was able to do that full time and was able to keep not only keep his head above water, but he said even in that year he made more money. And then he just ended up taking working as an IT professional. I forgot the actual field of IT he was working in. However, he was working as an IT professional part time for other people while he was doing 100% working full time with his business. So he took that moment of despair and turned it into triumph. And that moment, it was a shock for him. He actually was like, "Well, I was doing this on a part time basis, as a hobby, anyways. Now I'm just doing it from full time basis." And he actually enjoyed it more so. And the beautiful thing is, he created himself an opportunity that he was able to work from home more before the pandemic. This, like I said, is years and years before the pandemic. So it's like for him even during that time frame, it was new from 2007, 8, and it was a new concept of a lot of people working from home, and people working a decent job from home, so and getting paid good money and plus having good benefits from home. So and I see him on Facebook every now and then, but that's his name, Daryl. I forgot his last name, but yeah, I see him on social media every now and then, and he talks about that vividly. He says, like even during when the pandemic first started, he was like, he's like, I was living this lifestyle decade before the pandemic. He said because I worked hard to get myself to this standpoint, and now he lives in a cheaper state. He lives in Georgia. He used to live in Northern Virginia. Now he lives in Georgia and whatnot because he created an opportunity for himself to be able to be a professional in an arena where he's not limited to where he can make money. Because a lot of times people get, like I said, I'm from the DMV area and I'm surrounded by a lot of people that get pigeonholed in careers where they can't move or go anywhere else and do what they do in the DMV area because they haven't created any skill sets outside of what they do, or they're not in a profession that they could actually utilize those skill sets in other areas, or they haven't created a business so that they can do it in other areas either. They've therefore pigeonholed themselves. And because I've heard 1,000 times, well, I live in the DMV because it's the only place I can live at and get a decent paying job. And that might have been true 20 years ago, but that has not been true within the last 7 to 8 years. So I just leave it at that. But it's all about perspective and what one wants to do, and if one wants to create an atmosphere where they turn their job into an option, which Daryl did, turn his job into an option and not a must. But a lot of people, my boy Ronald Samuel says, mindset is everything. Once you got the right mindset, there's so many places you can go into in this world, and so many things you can do in this world. But a lot of times when the biggest limitation people put on themselves is by listening to other people and by caring about what other people think and what other people say about them. That's one of the biggest limitations people put on themselves in life, and they don't even realize it. That's the, like I said, in my personal opinion, that's the sad thing. They don't even realize that they're putting themselves in this specific situation because they're listening to other people. That's why I'm like, follow your passion. People don't know your passion, and even if they do, it's not their passion; it's your passion. So you go for it, because people will put a limitation on you, especially because of a bad experience they had, or two, because of the fear that they have, or three, because of the comfort zone, and they see you're trying to leave that comfort zone, and it scares them, or they're hating on that fact that you're able to do something different outside of the box. And that's one of the biggest haters. And the person might be as genuine and nice, and not have a backstabbing mentality, but in a sense they're a hater. If they're To me, you're a hater if you're always trying to tone down somebody's dream, tone down somebody's efforts. My mindset is, as long as you're not breaking any laws and you're not hurting anybody or your family or yourself, go for it. Enjoy your life, because you only have one life, and you better freaking live it to the fullest. All right. Speaking of which, today's quote is by D.H. Lawrence, stated, "Life is ours to be spent, not to be saved." And I could not agree with that statement more. And that's why I love the fact that the world is opening, bit by bit, and people are out enjoying themselves. I say, have fun, be as responsible and safe as you can, continuously to make money moves on all levels, from not only enjoying life, but to be able to figure out how to make money passively, how to make money selling products and whatnot, and just continuously keep learning the game from an investment standpoint, from an income earning standpoint, from a career standpoint, from any standpoint, because it's important and it matters. And a lot of time, this quote, where life is ours to be spent and not saved, in a sense, it's the same thing that goes to money. Because if you watch last night's live session, I was on Facebook, live on Facebook and YouTube, and I was talking about how a lot of banks have a significant amount of cash available that is usually, for the banks, it's bad business, in a sense, for a lot of people to save money and not to spending it and investing it. Grant Cardone says cash is trash, because assets mean more than cash. Your cash is worthless if it's not being spent on anything that's considered an asset, like a home or a business, land, anything of that nature, stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, whatever, insurance policies, anything that can grow in value. That's the true asset, not money. Because money is used as a seed. It's planted into a specific thing, like a seed's planted into a ground. It's watered and it has sunlight, and then it's cared for, and then it grows to other different things. It could be used, think of money as a caterpillar. Like, I just saw a beautiful butterfly this morning. Your money's supposed to blossom, just like we as human beings are supposed to blossom. We're not supposed to say the same. But if your money's just sitting in a drawer, it's not doing anything until it's actually used for value, or it's used for you to, obviously, to eat, sleep, get beverages and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, that's just what it is. All right. So enjoy your life. Appreciate being alive. Have a great weekend. And as I always say, do the great 3 free things: like, share, and subscribe. Make money moves, or in this world, you're going to live broke like a fool. Take care, family.